there is one funny thing that most people don't understand. Because I was listening to this documentary. It's sad, but then it's true. He was looking at the creation biblically. He was saying that, do you know who was the first person to start selling? And the funny thing is, it's the snake.
Yeah.
Because it actually solved the concept. Yeah. You might not like the idea, but then that's the whole point. You sell, you convince, and then I was thinking of one thing. The moment you are able to sell, and the person you've sold to goes and convince another person without your intervention, then you've been able to market well.
That's true. And you know who was the greatest salesperson to live here on earth? It's Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Definitely.
Yes, he was the biggest salesperson because he sold his idea and he sold his plan, and definitely everyone is start following that plan.
And the amazing thing, he did it in 3 years.
And you know how he was selling?
Yeah.
How he was selling? We're asking good quality questions.
Quality question.
Yes, you don't have, for you to sell, you don't have to pitch, and that people lie to each other that you have to talk too much in order for you to sell. That's a lie. You sell through quality questions, like the biggest salesperson to ever live here on earth, who is Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Yeah, and I love what Mr. Jerry said. To say, for you to sell, you actually don't need to talk a lot. Once you've seen it, you see someone who's talkative, and most people they say, this one I think can sell. I even say, because essentially what happens is that sales is actually more about looking at the market differently to say, how are you going to interact with the person? Because sometimes it's just about what you say, not how many words you actually sell. You actually say out. Think of the richest person in Zimbabwe right now, Strive Masiwa. You can actually look that most of his platforms, they are used by 10 million plus people. I think we can agree to say Strive Masiwa in Zimbabwe is one of the greatest salespeople.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah,
he talks so softly, he talks so slow, but in terms of the uptake of his product, in terms of the visions that is sold, like only if you look at it last year when he got the $250 million liquid bond, to go in front of bankers to convince them to give you $250 million, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It takes a lot of selling. The same even applies to maybe you also gave reference, maybe we can talk of entrepreneurs like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a true introvert in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
But people would feel comfortable giving him 100 million. So actually it's a matter of how you now present yourself. Not saying I can talk a lot so I can actually convince this person to buy. Because maybe in front of another person you only need to say about 5 things.
Yeah.
To actually convince them. You don't actually need to talk a lot of things.
Now,
I think just one last example, Steve Jobs actually, when he saw the iPod, he just saw with a few words, 1,000 words in your 1,000 songs in your pocket. He didn't need to talk about the gigabytes, how the device is going to be the Walkman, how the device is going to be the CD man. That he just says 1,000 songs in your pocket, and he revolutionized the whole industry.
Yeah, that's true. You know, you just brought a question to my mind. When you say that Steve Jobs or Strive Masiwa, he got $250 million, right? It took a lot of convincing. But then there is one funny thing. Those guys did not start there. So, is it because of the experience that they have that they are able to convince these people? Because definitely I think that when they were still starting, they had a hard time convincing. So, does it take experience in order to become a best salesperson? What really does it take?
No, they actually, thank you for that question, Tabo. There are 2 ways you can learn how to sell. You can choose to learn through experience, which can take a long period of time for you to learn how to sell. Because you're going to learn by disappointments. For example, if someone says the price is too high, then you're going to say, no, I'll give you a discount. That's a wrong answer. And you're going to say, so how much do you have? Like most of the people, they want to do it, they want to sell on price. Then Then, like, if someone says your price is too high, I just say, no, come on, take it, buy it now. Yes. That's the reason why you should actually buy it, because the price is too high.
Yeah.
So it means it's got value. So
Exactly.
you choose to learn by experience, which is about, it's just disappointing. And sometimes people have got 90 years of doing wrong things.
Exactly.
So that's another way you can learn, to say you learn through experience.
Yeah.
Then the second way you can learn through listening to this this webinar. You can go to your YouTube channels, listening to experts like Victor Antonio,
Exactly.
the likes of Zig Ziglar, your Brian Tracy. They've got plenty of videos.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone, which teaches you how to sell, how to counter an objection, how to prospect. When someone says, I will think about it, then you just say, because most of the people, the salespeople, they counter this situation where someone says, wait, I will do it after COVID, when my budget is now normal. Wow. Just say no. Spend it right now, because many people have spent things which are out of their budget. So some of these things, like the difference between an objection and a complaint, because you need to have that skill to say, is this an objection, by validating that objection. Because most of these things are just mere complaints. How many times have you complained to buy something for $1?
Exactly.
Even bananas, you just say, I'm funny. So people, they complain, and the salesperson is the one who's going to validate. When you're going to say, your bananas are expensive, the dollar is expensive, that's dollar for 10 for you, and you're saying it's expensive. If that person is not experienced, they're just going to say, I'll add 2 more. You see, because you're not a salesperson.
Exactly.
So people must learn. You can learn to like what I said, experience, or you choose to learn by developing the skill, reading the books, learn from the experts.
Exactly.
No, I think in Zimbabwe we need more salespeople, right?
Yeah, which is actually very true. We actually need everyone in Zimbabwe should actually be a salesperson. Because if we are looking at it, in terms of our economy is still way behind. So for actually all of us to go ahead, we have to actually go out there and collectively sell. And it's not only about selling maybe the company that you represent, you also have to sell the country in itself.
Yeah.
Because people actually need, what happens is when people are there, people are on social media, they watch, they see. And sometimes someone is attracted to Zimbabwe because of what Zimbabweans say about Zimbabwe.
Exactly.
So essentially, if you are actually out there, and if you are actually maybe on an international platform with international exposure, you are actually representing Zimbabwe as a brand. And the thing about it is that the more the country grows, the more also maybe your personal business is actually going to grow. So for any, because if you think about it, if it's a company of 5 people, right? Everyone in that company, for you to get maybe to 20, for you to get to 30, for you to get to 50, the first 5 people should actually approach the market to say, you know what, we are going to sell. We see the lot to say, all right, maybe it's a company, it's a car repair shop. It's only maybe the owners and maybe some technicians, and it's only maybe the owner who's out there selling. But actually everyone should actually be in the market, should actually be selling, because what happens is that the more you actually spread yourself out there, everyone can actually find a prospect in a company.
That's true.
It's very easy to get a prospect. Because if you're a technician, maybe you only do panel beating in that company. You see a car maybe that actually needs panel beating. It's just about going there and talking, you know what, we actually do ABC.
Yeah.
And you've already gotten a client. Because I think most people, they actually miss that. To say, if you are working with a company that generates $20,000 in revenue, if you help that company get to $200,000, there is no way the money you are getting personally is going to remain the same.
That's true. That's true.
It's virtually not possible. And I think one other thing why people are reluctant to actually sell all the time is that people have misunderstood the term that is called entrepreneur. For you to be called an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and say, no, that is not how it should be. They are entrepreneurs, people who are entrepreneurial within organizations.
Yeah.
And that is why you see that Strive Myself has not been in Zimbabwe for the past 19 years. But Econet still remains innovative.
Exactly.
Why? Because there are people who are in Econet, although they are employees, they don't see themselves as employees. They are part of the vision of the company.
Exactly.
And they are entrepreneurs within the company. That is why they are so passionate about going out there, selling the brand, selling the company. Why? Because they are part of the vision. Because in 2001, yes, Econet might have been valued at around $2 million. And they knew that if we get this company maybe to $500 million, we are not going to remain at the same level.
Exactly.
So they partook in that vision. So sometimes it doesn't make sense to say you're in a company that has a lot of potential. Yet maybe you're spending all your time maybe doing those side hustles, vacancy mail, Avon, etc. Why not invest all that effort into growing the company that you are part of? And that's where you grow with it.
Exactly.
I think that's one of the best reasons why people are not selling.
Exactly.